Yeah.
All right. Yeah, if we hear your son, it's fine. I'm here with Michael Burfitt, and Michael Burfitt is a home inspector, which with some wonderful branding. Show everybody your shirt before we
Yeah.
get
So there's
started.
my lovely shirts. Side
Yeah,
edge.
that's awesome.
Pretty much wear this all over town constantly. I'm almost like the Colonel Saunders there, and I'm not seen in public without my inside edge clothes on.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so we were talking about something, and I forget exactly what you said the other day, but I said, I have a couple ideas for improving that, and I do. I remember the gist of what you were saying. You were doing some sort of online marketing that was resulting in some inspections. So tell me a little bit about that first, and then I'll give you the improvements that you might consider making.
So basically, what I've been doing, of course, being a new guy, it's very difficult to kind of stand out among the crowd. So what I tried a lot of things, nothing really seemed to work. But what really seemed to get attention and really drove website traffic, I got a few inspections, certainly nowhere where I'd like to be, but it's an improvement, is I started doing a weekly blog. So every Sunday morning, I put out a blog and various things. Generally, they're home maintenance, but for example, I did one on defibrillators and how to use those. So it's just good information that the general public can use.
Wait. Hold on. Hey, let's start with the one little thing. How the hell do you know how to use a defibrillator other than like watching TV? Because I think we all know how to use it a little.
I used to volunteer for St. John Ambulance as an event first responder. So major, like for example, big hockey games or major outdoor events downtown here in our city, I would be part of the team. I'd volunteer, and part of it was to, I took the big long class to do it, and part of it was to carry around the AED because I had experience with it, and unfortunately, I did have an unsuccessful attempt at using it one time. So I certainly know a lot about it. I'm very well trained on it and educated. So
I just find it interesting, and you're making your blog interesting, and you're giving it some variety and grabbing some traffic that you wouldn't otherwise get is really the thing you're doing, which I get the trick. I do it myself. And I don't want to take too much time away from, getting straight to the point, because that's why I try to do in my videos. But I have to ask, and I think most people would ask you if they met you and knew that you used to, carry around a defibrillator. You ever zap anybody?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Did it work?
Unfortunately it did not, and that's part of what my blog says. If someone's in cardiac arrest, the chance of them surviving is actually very low. It's not like, and one of the things I talk about in my blog, it's not like in the movies. You don't just zap somebody and they jump back to life and say great. All it does is keep them alive.
So you did it once though. Okay, right. I mean, once.
Yes, and hopefully I'll never have to do it again.
Well, I mean, I'm with you there, because as much as death, dying, sad and not funny, what is kind of humorous is that you were an ambulance guy and you were trained how to use the defibrillator, and you tried it once. You're at 0%. Your record is horrible. I'm glad you're in home inspection now, so
no, it's one of the things I talk about it. It's actually very easy for even the layperson to use. So a lot of people are kind of scared of it. So I guess kind of one of the reasons I did that, even though it wasn't directly home inspection related, is that there's a lot of misconceptions around these AED units that you see all over town, and a lot of those kind of go with home inspectors. Like I'm sure as a fellow home inspector, people tend to think that we can see through walls, and people tend to think that we can instantly tell them, oh, that's going to cost $10,000 to fix.
All right, so let's start with something so we can get this show on the road, which might lead to a debate, might just lead to helping your business, and that's what we do at the Inspector Services Group. What's the URL, like the main URL for your home inspection business?
Certainly. So I'm at ieinspections.ca.
ieinspections.ca.
Yes.
Okay, so number one, you're in Canada, right? Cool. Let right. And I will I'll put this up on the screen for everybody, so they're not just looking at our faces. Okay. Let me put it's coming up right now. So is your blog also, I see the link. You have a blog right there. So I'm just looking for this this to show up on my share options, and oh, almost there. All right, I'm gonna have to work on this for just a second because it's not giving me the option to share, just this thing. So go ahead and tell us what you do. You have a blog, you have a website, and is that working well for you? And tell us about it.
Yes and no. I mean, I'm certainly getting a lot of attention and I'm growing in the rankings, but unfortunately what's happening in our city, and I'm sure people throughout Canada, the United States are going through the same thing, is that most people who are buying houses around here are buying them by waiving inspections.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it hasn't been, home inspectors as a whole is, in my experience, don't really do a good job of highlighting the value that we provide. People tend to think, oh, a home inspection is just about looking at the kitchen and looking, quickly run the taps and saying, okay, everything's fine. And they're more interested in, getting their commission. But
real quick, I just want to confirm with you, Michael, do you see your website on the screen?
I do not know.
You do not.
So
you don't see the screen sharing that I just did.
I do see a screen sharing, but not the website.
Oh, it's desktop 1, huh? Okay, let me go to desktop 2. Okay, we're gonna go to desktop 2 real quick. Okay,
there we are. Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like I was, pretty clean on my desktop there. I think somebody might be able to pull a single address off of it, but that's about it. All right, so we're safe. So now you see your website, and exclusively your website, right? Okay, so I totally agree with you. I would add to that, most inspectors have very little value to their services. And I'm not saying that to be, a dick, but let's be honest. If you were buying a house tomorrow in Nova Scotia, knowing what you know now, would you get a home inspection from a company that has zero guarantees, zero warranties, zero protections for the buyer and you, and it has you sign a contract that limits their liability to the cost of the inspection and the scope of their inspection to like the InterNACHI standards, where you can actually walk over a dead skunk in the living room. You don't have to report that. You can walk right over it. Well, there's an argument because that, a dead one is evidence maybe, but evidence you don't have to report. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, you can walk right over it, go in and check a representative number of windows, which if your windows are all fairly similar, one could argue you can check one. You can check a representative number of outlets, which once again, a lot of outlets are about the same. So you could check one and then write up a report on a basic database program, send you a PDF, and that tomorrow is meaningless. Like, are you paying 500 or 600 Canadian dollars for that? Is that, is that something you find to be worth it? Be honest.
It's exactly the thing is, like, on the surface it sounds like certainly a raw deal.
It is a raw deal. It is a raw deal. 90% of inspectors don't even check the auto reverse mechanism on a garage door. Like, here's the one thing in a house that kills kids and pets, and 90% of inspectors are more concerned, I'll say 80% probably, they're more concerned with covering their own ass than protecting the lives of the children and pets of their clients. I just find that part ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. You are right. Because some inspectors, and you're one of them, go a little bit above and beyond. And so, getting that message out to the public, inspectors are particularly bad at. But you've done it. You've put it on a blog. Before we go any further, tell us about the results. How many people, find you on that? Tell you, here's how I found you, and I'm hiring you because of it in a month.
No one's told me that they've done that, but I did have a recent client, and I asked them, what kind of drew you to me, and they said, I saw through your website you had a lot of great pictures and you had a lot of great information on them. So I am surmising. I should have specifically asked them about the blog. I didn't. I'm going to surmise that that's because of what they saw. That they saw that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just another guy with a pickup truck and a ladder.
Okay. All right.
Because we in Nova Scotia are completely unregulated. There's absolutely no requirements to become a home inspector.
I actually like the lack of regulation, by the way.
Double-edged sword. but yeah, I agree overall.
is.
I mean, certainly a
It
lot of the
is.
more regulated fields, like for example, electrical around here is very difficult to get into because it's dominated by a few families. So
Right, right. Well, so and I threw your contact info up on the screen there. So if people find on YouTube, they search for Halifax or Nova Scotia home inspector, and they find this video and they like you and they like our conversation, our very honest conversation, then they got your number right there. And you call the Inside Edge home inspections. And 902-209-9921. Everything I just said showed up in YouTube's searchability. So there's an SEO tip for you. But the okay, so here's the thing. All right, now I have to call you out on something, and this is all in good fun.
absolutely.
But I got to call you out on this. In this thread with home inspectors, you have this new inspector saying, I'm having trouble getting going. I'm having trouble getting business. And, you throw a comment on there that says, well, I did a blog, I'm, working on my SEO, etc. And, at least you implied, if not outright said, this is working for me. This is doing good. But when push comes to shove, as we're, trying to quantify it today, the answer is that, well, I don't really know. I think it's doing all right, but I don't ask people. I don't survey them on whether they found me online or were referred by their agent, or found me through the directory of an association, or whatever methodology they had, whatever route it took to get to you. You're not surveying that. You're not asking that question in your processes currently. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I certainly should. I guess I don't like to be pushy about how you found me, but yeah, I certainly should be going forward. Should be a lot more aggressive in asking where to do, how did you
Well,
get a
you
hold of
should,
my company?
especially if you're spending some time on this. So this blog here, and sure enough, as promised, here's how to zap somebody and probably kill them. I mean, if you take Michael's advice, he's at 0% survivor level on his AED usage. I don't know, but we're all in good fun, Michael. The thing I'm seeing here is something that takes a little bit of time, right? Oh, and by the way, I love this. I love the AFCI info, right? I think most people know what a GFI is, or a GFC.
Yeah, I don't think anybody I've ever met has known what an AFCI is. And to be honest, before I came a home inspector, I didn't know either.
Yeah, well, my dad's a master and electrician and home inspector, so I knew pretty much the moment they came out. But yeah, you're right. People don't know what arc fault means. They don't even have an idea. So go to the Inside Edges blog and read all about it. So this is good stuff. And just a quick read seems well written. It seems accurate. So good for you. And this is, do you believe that this is getting you towards the top of SEO? Is that something that you think is one of the results?
It's a tool. To be perfectly honest, though, I don't just do it to get SEO. I do it because I really enjoy writing about. I'm passionate about home inspections. I love what I do, and this is a great way to kind of express that I'm a very knowledgeable home inspector and share my knowledge with the world.
All right, so right now, you're definitely not on page 1.
No, I'm not on page 1.
Okay, all right. So I mean, you had this new inspector who is trying to feed his family, and I've been there. When I was 3 years old, a home inspection company started by two wonderful people, my parents, in my living room. Okay, and luckily things worked out well. They're one of the largest home inspection companies in the history of the world. They've done well in being conservative fiscally, in making savvy real estate investments over the year. Just doing the smart things, the things that you should do to establish yourself and make a great retirement if you want it. But they're both very hardworking people too, and they'll never retire. So, as good as they do, they're gonna stick with it. And part of that is their passion for home inspection, which I have too. But you have this guy that was sitting there going, "Hey, give me my advice," and you came in with something that is your passion for sure. I get that. I can see it. You have a wonderful blog, but there's no indication that you're making money off of this. And I'm telling you right now that that most inspectors do horrible digitally, and even the ones that do well or think they're doing well, when you really get down to the numbers, they're not getting a return on investment on any of their online activities. I mean, it's just simple as that. I've maybe met 2 inspectors that have done really well and could give me numbers that justified it. And so, you know, this was worth it to go there, but I don't want to beat you up. Instead, I want to take this to the next level. So you're passionate about it, and anyone who's passionate about what they write wants people to read it, right?
Mhm.
So here's what I'm going to suggest to you. I
Okay.
want you to go to the home inspection forums, take down this address, homeinspectionforum.net. And what
Okay.
you do is you take your whole content, the whole content of what you already have, and you take this content and you throw it on the forum, along with links back to your blog. Because, you know, how many hits did you get last month on your website?
I think 86 I had.
86. Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I had about 2.5 million. So
I'm new.
you're on your way.
I'm on my way. It's certainly up from the 10 or so I was getting when I first started.
Hey, you know, you double your visitor count, like, you know, 5 or 6 times, you're gonna start getting close.
Yeah, you
But
gotta start somewhere, right?
oh, totally. And by the way, 86 people that come and buy something from you, you know, that's a pretty good home inspection business right there. You know, 86 inspections a month is 8 to 1600. That's it's
Yeah, I
about
get that.
7.5 times the average annual volume of a
I would
home
be very
inspection.
happy if I got that, even a fraction of that. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, you know, but you'll get there. So that's the first thing you do. And let me just give you an example, and I'll delete it so that you can go in and you can add all of this stuff later. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to what you already did, because you already spent the time, right? You don't want to do all the time again. So if you're out there and you're doing a blog, you have your images, go to save image as, and you know, just throw it on your desktop. And you know, anything I'm using temporarily, I just put a bunch of A's in front of it, and then it'll show up first. Little trick for speed. And what else you got picture wise? Nothing. Okay. Oh, you got one more. Cool. Save image as. We're gonna go and save that one as well. Again, a bunch of A's in the front. Save that. And actually, we have to rename them. It would be a good idea to rename them. Like, I'll just explain that because I don't want to take everybody's time. But if I was doing this for real and wasn't just posting a post that I'm gonna do that you should mimic, and I'll delete mine so that you can get 10,000 views on this and click-throughs to it, and hundreds, if not thousands, of hits on your website, all for free, free marketing, then you would take a little bit more time. So the first thing I would do is I would come find this content that you're doing, whether it's on your blog or on your computer, in a Word document, in your brain, type it up and type up what you got, research it, make sure it's accurate. Don't post things online that are not, makes you look stupid. And then you put it in a great format so that you have it planned, because our forum doesn't let you just sit there open with our HTML editor style posting tool forever. It's going to time out. And so you have to be prepared to just copy, paste, dump it all in. So you have all your content, then you have your pictures. And what you want to do is you want to name your pictures really, really well. You want to think about SEO and what the clients see, because on our forum, they can download the picture and they can see what it's called. And that contributes to all the traffic that we get, right? Like we're not getting millions of hits because we're amateurs. We know what we're doing. So what we're going to do is what I would do is I would name this AFCI circuit breakers.jpg or .ping. Okay. That would be the first thing. Next thing I would do is I would go down here and I would pull this this picture and I would say arc fault damage at panel.jpg or JPEG. And that way, if somebody searches those words, you're very likely to come up in their search results. And do you care, by the way, just as an aside here, do you care if somebody, stops at my site, reads a little content from you on my site, and then ultimately clicks the link and orders your services from you? Does it matter to you that they stopped at my site first and that I outrank you?
All that matters to me is that I get to do inspections.
Well, two things matter to you actually because of your passion.
Make money.
One thing is that you do inspections, make money. I'm going to put that in one category. And the second thing is that you're heard, that people get your messages, that they read, that they, have a better understanding of things, that you're passionate about, like these AEDs and arc faults and subtle defects. And at one point, you'll start getting into other stuff that, and if you're really smart about it, you'll look for things that people are generally searching, right? So it's a category of things you're passionate about. But you go to, Google's tools for ads, where you can look up keywords and key phrases and get the, the highest volume things that people are searching for. And you'll find something there if you are clever about it, that will almost mimic a title of something you could write and be your passion. So anyway, I'm going to save these two pictures. I'm going to have all this content at the ready. And by the way, I don't like on your on this that you're, it's cutting off the titles, but we'll put that aside for a moment. And I'm just going to go here to the home inspection forum, and I'm going to go to ask the inspectors. Okay, it's one of the public forums at the top. It's not the private forums, the members only forums at the bottom. You will not get the traffic there that you'll get in the public forums. Okay, and some of these, by the way, if I go to the hottest topics, here's a post from one of our original recall check users, Dan Howard, who is, now almost exclusively in the environmental space. It has over 14 million views, one post. So, that's pretty good. You got others with millions, others with hundreds of thousands, and, it drops off from there, but, we have a lot of posts, but even down here, bottom of the first page, almost 150,000 views of one page. Isn't that cool? And you can take advantage of this. So what I would do is I would go to your forum index after you make a profile, which we'll talk about in a second. And making a profile is just as simple as saying, create a profile. And I would go to ask the inspectors, because this is, this content is more or less the response to the question that you wish you were getting. Hey, what's an arc fault protector? And how do I, maintain them and make sure my family is safe and know that I have the right equipment? Those are the three questions that you're seeking to answer in a blog post. So then you say new post. And again, you're going for, what are people likely to search for? AFCI at breaker panel. ... what you should know. Exclamation point. Sound pretty good? I think it does. And then I'm going to go down to attachments, and I'm going to attach those two JPEGs that you gave me. And I'm just going to do one for example's sake here. And I'm going to submit that. And again, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to have that JPEG named, because this is going to show up to people. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the text. So I'm going to go over here to your text, and I'll just add part of it, okay? Because this is just a demo. If I was doing the whole thing and I wasn't about to delete it, I would copy and paste each section, and I would go to this new topic, and I'd paste it, and then I'd find the things that needed to be accentuated. And so, for instance, this warning right here, you might want that in bold. So there you go. That's it. So you go through all of that, and just make sure it's good. And if you want to link back to your website, Don't do it all spammy, because I will delete that shit. But if you have a reasonable way to say, read more at, and then you go to your blog page and you copy that URL. When you copy that URL, you got to have the HTTPS or HTTP. Most sites today are HTTPS, of course. Then it's going to automatically become a URL and a clickable link. So so far so good. Am I losing you?
No. This is pretty straightforward.
Okay, so then I click submit. And when I click submit, it turns into this post. And again, here's that JPEG name. Here's that downloadable. And when you create your profile, it'll walk you through it. It's super simple, super user friendly. But upload a picture of yourself and make it a picture that doesn't make you look like some freak. A lot of people go on the internet, they go on forums like this, and they find some picture from a movie they're a fan of or some weirdo stuff. And it just looks like Dungeons and Dragons to your readership. So put a picture of you, preferably a professional one with that very professional shirt you're wearing. And then all this stuff is automatic. The day you join, the number of messages, your IP address, and whether you're online or offline. That's all stuff that's automatically generated, makes it real, which makes it more credible, which makes it higher ranking in Google results. We're not only secure, we're verified. The people who post are real, and we delete nonsense. So, not to bash it too much, but there's another forum in this industry. You're familiar with it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And by the way, if you search anywhere in the world, you search inspection forum, and I've tested this all over with Google's tools. You search inspection forum, and the top two everywhere, they switch. Number 1 and number 2 are mine and Nikki Poo's. So and that forum's fine. You should do a similar strategy to what I'm telling you right now there, if you want to. I don't, and I'll tell you why. You want to guess?
Yeah, it's a bit of hostile. It's a bit of a hostile environment at times.
It's not only hostile, it's unprofessional. There's inspectors posting pictures of buttholes. Okay. If you value your business, if you value this profession, if you value your professionalism and being respected, then make sure you are nowhere near the InterNACHI forum. And somebody's going to hate me for that, but I don't care, because it hurts the home inspection industry and it hurts your business when somebody finds your stuff and then sees somebody talking about buttholes. Anyway, and what do buttholes have to do with home inspection? Nothing. There are like 5 names of people that should have been kicked off that forum a long time ago, and moderation is not bad. So the fact that I moderate my forum, take away your freedom, does that make it better for you? Would you think? As having a website that you want people to drive to?
I've certainly been to unmoderated forums, and they turn into a cesspool of trolls very quickly. So
exactly,
I certainly understand that.
So we don't want your clients seeing an unprofessional post from someone else. So if we get one from you, we'll delete it. Now, when you start your profile, and this is super important, you have the ability to go into your profile and put in links and put in a nice signature. So now if you come here, regularly respond to stuff, like just take the 2 minutes a day to go and post something, respond to something, whatever. Every single one of those posts, my 5,237 posts here, which isn't insane. Look at Nick's numbers on his forum. He's at like 100,000 posts. I don't spend all day on it. I spend 2 minutes, like 3 minutes tops. Whenever I'm on the toilet, I'm doing this. And with that signature line, I set up once, I set up right. I set up, with you, I'd set up a link to your blog directly, a link to your website directly, something that says, I'm a Nova Scotia home inspector. For a home inspection in Nova Scotia, call me at 902 whatever. I might even suggest here that, do you guys do the thing in Canada? I guess I've never asked a Canadian this question. Do you guys do the thing in Canada where you absolutely love, adore, and appreciate all of your armed services veterans?
Can happen here, yes. We live in a very large military community here, so it's certainly like, for example, at the sporting events, we do a standing ovation for one veteran. They give him a free hockey jersey. So certainly not to the extent of the United States, but yes, there is some of that here in Canada.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. So, in the United States, if you insult our military, if you try to take our guns, or like, there's certain things that we'll just rebel against. We're all mavericks. So you being in a high military, is it like her Royal Majesty's Air Force and that kind of thing? Is it part of that?
So we don't have like a separate Army Navy. It's just all Canadian forces, and we have the largest naval base in Canada here in Halifax.
Okay, so it's
certainly
like
large.
So it's basically like that movie Canadian Bacon, a little bit, but like military version, not police version. That's cool. I mean, I'm giving Americans a sense of what we're talking about in scale, because like how many servicemen and women are on that base?
That's a good question. I know it's in the thousands.
Okay, well
I don't know
that's
that
substantial. Thousands and thousands of that supports a whole local economy. So
Absolutely.
what I would do in your case is at the bottom of your signature line, I would say, like I have here, get your E&O insurance, which we're coming to Canada with. You're going to want to join us, but throughout
Nice.
America, we're just, we're taking over inspection insurance, because we're doing it at, starting at $1,200 for $3 million worth of coverage. It's just an insanely good deal that offsets the cost of the other things that we do for inspectors, like, warranties and our environmental testing services, etc. So, yeah, if I were you, I would put a veterans discount and an active service personnel discount. Does that make sense?
Okay, I guess I've tended to shy away from that. Not so much that I'm certainly very pro military. I understand it's a huge sacrifice.
Mhm.
However, it's just a lot of home inspectors around here are retired from the forces, so I don't have the connections they do. I as a civilian, I don't. It's not really a market I'm that familiar with.
All you're doing is selling my point. So your competition has a bigger connection to veterans.
Yes.
Okay, so I can't think of a better way to cock block them than to offer a discount on these massive blog posts and forum posts that will see more visitors in a month than their websites will have in their entire careers.
Point well taken.
Yeah, I mean, have that discount. Here's the worst case scenario, okay? Because it's in your signature line. So if you ever change your signature line on the forum, it changes on all your posts. So if it gets overwhelming, if you just get way too much business with these people that want 10% off because they're veterans and they're, protecting your freedom and in the line of fire and risking their lives somewhere in the world. I know it just seems ridiculous to give them a discount. Then take it off or reduce the discount or increase your price. There's all sorts of ways that you can deal with that later. So we'll move past this point. But basically, you go to this home inspection forum. We just walked you through making a post that works, and I'm gonna log out so that I can show you this. You go to this register button. When you go to this register button, you register. You'll do it. A CAPTCHA, a confirmation in your email, the normal stuff, and then go back in here and go to your profile. So when I log in here, and I go to my profile, it says my profile. You want to go there and you want to fill in every blank and you want to make this signature line awesome. And then down here, you want to upload a quote avatar, have a complete profile so you look like a pro. This and links back to your website will drive, we'll double your traffic overnight, probably triple it. So start making some posts. Now let's go back to your website here. I think your website is pretty clean, but there's a few a few issues with it. You mind if I just rip the shit out of your website for a minute and
Oh,
help you?
absolutely. I'm not going to get you. I'm not going to improve if I don't. I'm not willing to receive constructive feedback.
Good point. And by the way, people who feel like I'm, a jerk or whatever, keep in mind that I'm only a jerk to the people that I love. Because if if I don't care about the outcome for you, then I'll just say, oh yeah, that's wonderful, great, or I'll ignore you. But if I'm a little aggressive, it's because I want you to make $1 million, like that's, I grew up with home inspectors. There were Manwich years. The 80s in America sucked, post Carter interest rates were 10% ish. We had assumable mortgages. Like, can you imagine a real estate market where mortgages are so expensive and interest rates suck so badly that you can't pay what the houses were worth 4 years ago, and you have to assume a mortgage, which means you can't take out a mortgage for more than the last owner owed on the place. And so where does that put you on your offer? It limits you to what additional cash you can throw into the deal. In the 80s, in the early 80s, in not a great economy. And then Reagan took over and introduced us to a whole new world of capitalism. Honestly, he's largely responsible, and his cabinet for what we have today in our economy that is so much better than Canada. It's sick.
A lot of ways you're absolutely right.
we are, but you guys are happy, and
We got a good country.
you do.
Certainly, a lot of things cost a lot more money here. That's for sure. And housing is probably at the top. I mean, I look at some of the housing price in America, and it just blows my mind how much cheaper it is.
I think it would surprise a lot of Americans to know how many Michiganians cross the border into Canada, find a way to establish, right to get treated by your healthcare system, and are running away from the American healthcare system. Yeah, that would blow people away, because the thing they tend to focus on, at least if you're in conservative circles, or libertarian circles, which I certainly am, and I think about 99.9% of inspectors are, we tend to hear the opposite. Oh man, here's this Canadian millionaire that wanted this really awesome treatment, so he flew to Florida on his private jet, so we must have the best healthcare. Maybe at that top 1 to 5% of all procedures, but for the vast majority of actual health needs for people, we're not doing so hot. USA, we're not doing so hot, and that was before COVID. So anyway, leaving the political for a moment, let's just go back to your website here. Let's talk about your headings here. You got home, contact, IE, blog. Nobody knows what IE means, by the way. I realize it's an acronym for your your company name, but get rid of that. Just put blog.
Just blog,
or you could put your name. You could say, as a menu item, you got plenty of room. You could say Michael's blog. First and last name. And I don't know how to say your last name. What is it?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, okay, believe me, I don't think anybody has ever said it right the first time.
Okay, well, we'll check the recording. I think I might have said it pretty close to that. But Michael Burfitt's blog. Make yourself out to be somewhat of a celebrity. The word home, as the link to your homepage, I know people are familiar with it, but I hate it. I would rather that say inside edge in home inspections. Like, make it a double liner, inside edge home inspections, so that that's your home button. Change the name of the blog. Promos. I'm going to go to each page here because it's pretty short, small website. I like your phone number here, but I don't. And let me tell you why. I can't highlight it, which means it's not text.
Yeah, so it actually is a picture, and I'll tell you why I did it that way. Because I'm with Weebly at the moment, and when you go on mobile, it tends to wrap onto a different line, so it looks really awkward.
Okay.
By
So
doing it in a picture, it doesn't.
So get off that shitty website creator. Go to ultimatewebsitecreator.com, for instance. That's our website platform that we developed, and it's a free website builder and hosting. That's ultimatewebsitecreator.com. Or actually, there's one that's a specific thing that has templates for inspectors. I think it's called Ultimate Inspector Websites. Yeah, ultimateinspectorwebsites.com. You go there, you can take your entire website and you can literally just copy and paste it in and move it around, and you can press mobile and you can see the mobile view, and then you can move that around, and there's no more guessing. It'll take you 20 minutes to redo this website, to build it almost from scratch. And I say that because there are websites that I build fairly frequently. Let's go to let's see, inspectionexpo.net/inspection world. Okay, so this is just a page, but this page took me all of 25 minutes to build, including the form, which is a custom form that I built, and the direction of that to somebody that is taking registrations in and following up, that whole system, 25 minutes. And I have about 4,000 websites. I never built a website until after I built a website builder, by the way. How messed up is that? So anyway, consider it. And sometimes these websites do really good on the SEO too, by the way. So if I go to discoverbreeze.com as an example, this is where where you'll find our largely environmental testing devices and media, right? So, this is a nice, clean website, right? Looking good. You have the Breezy T has its own page. Let's go to that one real quick. Here you go. So we have, specs and videos on everything. And then, you press order and it goes to the e-commerce site. This website, we probably have all of 2 hours in total. We built it on the same website creator that I'm telling you to do now. And between good YouTube videos, good posts on the forum, and let's show you a great post on the forum on Breeze Radon, the Save Money with Breeze. We frame in the forum right to this website so we can show Breeze-based, rather than writing a separate blog. I just use the forum. You want a separate blog, you want to own that, I get it. But I just use my forum and then, frame it in. But between all of these things, if I go and search Breeze Radon, look what comes up. breezeradon.com, which is a subpage of that discover breeze.com. Then Inspector Shop, that's mine. discoverbreeze.com, the site we were just on. Then videos from YouTube, mine. And then the Breeze Radon app on Apple, mine. This sanderssystems.net, they'll be off the first page soon enough, but they just crept in there. Like sometimes ones pop in for like a month, but that's because he did something interesting recently. He took his Breeze Radon monitor radon report and he put it on his website. Well, so it bumped him. Then our Facebook page, and here, whoa, look at that, homeinspectionforum.net, right on first page of Google. Then look at all these images, they're all ours. So if you're looking for somebody that can get to page 1 of Google, own every damn link and every picture and every video, I'm sorry, nobody in home inspection comes close to the Jedi-like skills of this guy right here. And I do it with Ultimate Website Creator, or for inspectors, the ultimateinspectorwebsites.com. So free websites, free hosting, all of that. And then the forum, exactly as I described on this video, is posting on this forum. You between those two things and great content on your website, then you're going to win. So let's go back to your website for a second. That's messed up. When you move, make sure you have text phone number right at the top of the website. You're a local service provider. So what are most of your website visitor is going to be? I mean, until you utilize my forum well, what are they going to be? They're going to be people that heard about you, right?
Absolutely.
They're going to be people that need a home inspection and were likely already referred to you.
Yes.
So they're at your website looking to do one of two things: either contact you because they're already sold, they need nothing more, or they want to be sold on you because you were one of three names, right? So the first thing is you make your contact information really goddamn obvious. Anyone who's in the local service business that isn't listening to this and taking my advice, well, you're wrong. Right at the top of this page, right here, right above the more, you want a text version of your phone number and a text version of your email address. Why? Because on their cell phone and on their computer, all they have to do now is just click on either one and it opens up their email. It dials their phone for them, and it's an easy button to get to you to order services from you. You want that, right? Great. Don't
Never
bury
getting
it.
away with sales. It's one of the things, the number one thing to stay in business.
Yes, yes. Next, you have let's stay on the homepage for a moment. So this picture, it's all pixelated, dude. It's all pixelated. You're passionate about this. Look at your shirt. You put the pixelated version that somebody created for embroidery on your website, because embroidery has to be done this way. Like an embroidery place can't take in a vector file the same way. They have to create embroidery files. And so this stuff is almost easier for them to deal with. But look at how pixelated this is. When it gets tiny up here, it's not a problem, but it's all pixelated. Dude, come to our design team and get the right ping file. Okay. We have ways of doing that. And this is crap. This is crap on a stick. And whoever designed that for you should, probably seek another profession. Next, it says home inspector. Well, duh. I don't know that I like this word here because it says right above home inspections and then it says home inspector below. I don't get why that's there. This big flag makes no sense. Here's your info that you need right at the top, so that can go away. And then welcome to the Inside Edge. Newsflash, genius, you do not have to welcome people to your website. They know they're already there. So get rid of that. Don't make it like a big reveal and just, get straight to the point. Content and pictures. Now, this content, it would be great content on an About Us page. But the content that I'm reading right there is not content for your main page. You have completely wasted the fold. The first thing people see when they go to a website, the only thing they're likely to read before they make a decision of whether they're staying at your website or moving on. All you have there is your logo and three meaningless words: quality, professional, independent. None of your clients give a shit about independence. Okay. That's an inside baseball bullshit thing. Get rid of that. Nobody cares whether you're professional or not. Of course you're professional. Everybody says they're professional, and nobody cares about the word quality. In fact, they hate it. It's overplayed. And it basically says, I take care of my kids. Well, yeah, of course you do. And everybody else says they do. So don't waste this space. Those are wasted words. You need to tell them why you're different than the other guy. And you have a few points. I don't think they're the strongest points, but they're points. And they're buried way down. You have to go all the way down here to unmatched value. All right. Well, the stylizing of this isn't exciting enough to say unmatched. I like your action picks. That was a good idea on your action picks. See, I give compliments too. I don't just rip you apart. I don't like that you're like crawling in a garage. I don't get that, but
Actually, crawl. I know it's kind of not a great picture. It's actually a crawl space. So I'm basically
okay.
showing that.
Well,
I'm willing
I know it's a crawl space, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like it looks like you're crawling on concrete. Look at the picture. So it's like, oh, this is the weird inspector that comes over and crawls all around your house, unless he's at the electrical panel because it's too high. But if you replace that with a picture of you in a super small crawl space, I mean, one of those 8 to 10 inchers that you question whether you want to go down there. Okay. You find one of those and you get, I don't know, kid, give them $100. I mean, $100 to you is only like, $70. Give them your $100, Canadian $100, and have them go down in that crawl space first and get a view of you like coming into it. And they just tell them to take a million pics, right? Because you can delete them all. You find that perfect pic of you, in a tough spot in the crawl space, and another one of you in an attic, because it shows people that you go places that they'll never go, or that they never want to go. And it gives an indication of the level of thoroughness, right? So rather than just put the word thorough, which, is almost a joke in our industry, right? Put a picture of you being thorough. And on this electrical panel, what's that device in your hand?
That's the FLIR.
It's a FLIR IR camera, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's got a really cool, like Predator movie like screen on the other side.
Hard to get a good picture of it though. I tried doing that.
I get it. I don't need a good picture. Here's what I need. I need the show, right? So you're using equipment that you're not required to use, right? You go above and beyond those minimum standards, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. And you're using, I thank you for doing that. That's what keeps this industry alive and makes it fun. And if it weren't for people like you and people like my parents in the 80s that decided to get on those roofs and take off those furnace panels and take off the electrical panels, none of those three things were done in 1982. In 1982, it was 45-minute home inspections for $90, and they didn't check anything. So you're doing that. Just get a view. I don't care if it's a good view of the IR. I just want people to know that that's an IR camera in your hand. Because unless they own a store like inspectorshop.net that sells IR cameras, I don't think they're going to know. And that's cool. So please do that. And then down here, let's go through this real quick. Buyback guarantee, $25,000 honor guarantee, thermal imaging, and here's a phone or email follow up with your inspector if necessary. Okay, I am okay. Let's go through this one by one. This $25,000 honor guarantee. What does that really mean? Let's put it in real terms real quick. Let's do this straight to the point.
Basically, it means that I'm trustworthy. I mean, it's just.
It means
like
if
like you said earlier,
something, right?
Like I said, anyone can say that,
right?
But, I want to go a little bit above and beyond. I know it's not the ideal way of doing it.
So here's what I would do, because Nick did something brilliant with this. In fact, I'm sitting here thinking that's so brilliant. I may do it with my own clients. Actually, in fact, I'm writing that down. We're launching that. We're launching a bonding program because here's what that is. Nick essentially did an association-based free bonding program. So I would almost say, because I don't think anybody's going to call you out on it. Well, you're not licensed, certified, insured, bonded. Just say those three things. Those three words mean everything in the world to people. Just good. There you go, with dots in between them. Like that can cover that. And here's the problem with the $25,000 honor guarantee. Everything you did there, the buyback guarantee, the honor guarantee, it leads back to InterNACHI, right? Yeah. Like a layman can take these phrases, or worse yet, a link. I noticed you kept your own content. Let's see how good you did on that. Because a lot of guys, they'll end up with a link back to InterNACHI. And you put a link back to InterNACHI, man. You're making the traffic come to this site, and then you're giving it away to InterNACHI, where in less than 3 clicks, your web visitors can find a list of all of your competition along with their contact details. I don't know if you're into communism. I'm not. So I like to keep my clients, and I like to keep my capitalistic rewards. You did all this work, man. You did that content. You can copy and paste your way to a multiple of the people seeing it. And then when they get to your website, I want them to stay there. And right now they're not, because they get to here and they go, oh, standards practice. Let me, I mean, if they open it in a new tab, which they won't, I will. And then they go here. And then let's see how many clicks it takes to get to an inspector. Do you think I can get there in 3 clicks or less to get to your competition?
Oh, probably, yeah. Probably 2.
Probably, yeah. Okay. I mean, you go to more. I haven't clicked anything yet. I hovered over more, and now I'm going to find a certified home inspector. That's 1 click. And then, I might have to put a little bit of information here. I think I can actually, oh, wait. I don't even have to put any information there. I just go to Nova Scotia, 2 clicks, Rutrow, 2 clicks. And I have all your competitions. Look at all those 902 area codes.
There's a lot.
Oh, man. And now, you have your competition calling these guys, or your clients calling these guys, because you decided that it would be a good idea to put a bunch of InterNACHI logos and InterNACHI links on your website. I love Nick. He's passionate about the industry, by the way. I'll kick him in the balls every once in a while when he does something that I don't think is good for the industry, and he'll do the same to me. The difference is I'm right. And I say that humbly because he's done very well. We both have, there's no doubt that there are, 2 entities that have been solid and well-known in the industry over the last 20 years. And it's been the 2 of us. And so he's done well with this. And I like the buyback guarantee in theory, but how many of your clients have called Nick to have them buy their house, by the way?
No one.
Oh man. Oh, okay. So let's take all that content, because you have to redo your website on Weebly anyway. I gave you a few rules. I would love to see, that you really have some awesome content up here. And I'm going to give you an example, just a quick one that I use a lot, because he's a diligent client of ours, and he's so giving to the inspection community that he does not mind you taking his ideas and running with it a little bit. And that's Wally Conway. You'll find videos of me and him on him and I rather on YouTube with thousands and thousands of views. We do a lot of content together, and he's gone on our tours. He's the voice of the industry, and just a gem of a guy. So go check out his website. And if your website doesn't have something like that appeals to clients like Home Pros, well, and this is Home Pro of Jacksonville, Florida, by the way, and it's a very competitive market, so he has to be the best. Find a way to do this. He offers $100,000 in warranties. About 1 in every 20 of his clients has a claim of some sort. Do you have any warranties with your inspections?
I do not. Just like we said, the aforementioned.
So you're paying for a thing that has almost 0 possibility of ever having a claim. And when you do have a claim, it has to be something that you missed, right? Those were the rules. If you miss something, then it's covered by this. Do you think you have to miss something for a warranty to cover it?
Nope. As we all know, houses that can give issues at any time.
Everything breaks eventually. So as an example, you see the Sewer Guard logo up here. You won't be able to go to sewerguard.com and find a list of your competitors for your clients to go, oh, he has Sewer Guard. Let me search that, or let me click this link and let me find all his competitors. We do not do that. And so if I burn Nick a little bit on this video, it's because I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong to take your web traffic and send it to InterNACHI to be sent to your competitors. I find that, anti-business. I find it weird, uncomplicated, unsophisticated, and that kind of stuff keeps our industry, back in the woods. So Sewer Guard is a great little trademark, and it's purely descriptive. What do you think Sewer Guard does?
I would say it protects against sewer backups.
Sort of. Okay, so a backup can maybe be cleared by an auger, right? So anything that can be done for less than $300 usually. If you have a problem that does not get corrected by that auger, though, that goes over $300, SewerGuard will pay to repair it. So line collapse, line breakage, you have tree roots, soil in the lines, all those things. You have line types that suck and deteriorate and just, implode. We dig them up, we fix them. 1 in every 700 homes that we put one of those policies on, and we probably do 80,000 SewerGuard policies a month. So, we're pretty experienced at this by now. About 1 in every 700 is where is the hot spot, that's where we're averaging sewer line repairs. So if I told you 1 out of your next 700 clients was going to have a sewer line issue that costs them thousands of dollars, and by having SewerGuard, that day would not be horrible for them. And by going out into the public and having right in the fold of your website, something that's meaningful, not this honor guarantee that, the words don't mean anything to people, not the buyback guarantee, which, has a usage percentage within the margin of error of 0. Again, good concept. I think it could be improved a little bit. And to be fair, a lot of our users are also using the buyback guarantee. Not a majority, a minority, but still a lot. And they're using it in their marketing. But it's better to say, with your inspection, we're going to cover that, and we're going to cover this, and we're going to cover this. And here's all these things that you agents know that your clients deal with on a regular basis. And when you use your inside edge, we take care of that for you, because we understand the real estate transaction. We understand you want your clients to be happy, and we're not those other inspectors that inspect a little bit, guarantee nothing, and walk away from the situation and take no responsibility. So not only do we have that, but also if we miss something huge, we have an association with a crazy owner. He's in Colorado. He married a 20-year-old. He had kids that could be his grandkids' age. He's an eccentric dude. He's got an awesome house, by the way, lots of guns, and he has offered to guarantee and buy back this house if I really miss something big. Okay, now we have a message that's just crushingly good. You build it into the website, and and see where your business goes. But then you have to do one other thing. If you're going to be doing millions of dollars worth of inspections, like Wally there at Home Pro, like Phil and Patty Thornberry at Security Home Inspections, like, probably at this point, about 400 to 500 of our, 8,500 inspection companies we work with. If you're going to be doing $1 million plus, what else do you have to do? Well, probably not live in Nova Scotia. But sorry, you do have a scale issue there. But also you have to get out there and be seen and have a lot of agents know who you are. 90+% of inspections are referred by the agent. So what's your go-to-market plan? Let's say tomorrow you can wave a magic wand and your website was as awesome as Wally's. You added some features. Maybe they're not our warranties. I mean, our warranties are pretty good, pretty well proven in the marketplace, but maybe you find something else that has, that kind of pizzazz, and you add it to this website you got. And then you turn that website into, you're able to hand it to a designer, create a brochure, and all of your marketing materials follow it. What is your go-to market plan to make sure that every agent in town knows who you are?
Well, it's my go-to marketing plan is basically just to show that I'm I'm a quality, like I said, quality inspector that knows what they're talking about and the skill of what they do. To be honest, I don't know what to say about
and
that.
I have no problem with that. I want you to be that guy, and I want you to be passionate about it. I hear your passion. Like anybody watching this, like, just because this guy doesn't offer warranties doesn't mean his inspections suck. I can tell you, he's going above and beyond in his processes. And that's coming from, the guy that owns the probably the largest school in home inspection, the soon to be largest insurer in home inspection, and a warranty program that has served over 7 million clients and grew up in it. This guy, he knows what he's doing. I've read his blog. But would I rather your clients have the experience of they move in and something changed? It's not what they thought it would be, and they can make a warranty claim and have a good real estate experience, of course. But there are other things. But what you haven't demonstrated to me yet, because I want you to be rich. Okay. I want you to have $1 million or whatever amount of money you can make in home inspection in Nova Scotia. I want you to do that. What do you do to get your name in front of agents? And I'll give you a hint. It has nothing to do with SEO. You might get a few that way, but it has nothing to do with SEO. So how do you get in front of them?
Well, it's really hard to do with COVID, unfortunately. The biggest thing I do is just I see him around town, just introduce myself and basically, say who I am. To be honest, I know it's not really much of an answer, but
No, it's not. It's okay. It's okay. That's why we're here, because I told you that I would improve what you were doing. And I think in summary today, your website needs improvement. Your blog needs to be out there where it can be read by more than 86 people in a month. You definitely don't need to tell other inspectors that the way to be successful is this thing that you haven't tracked to be successful. So maybe that also says you should start tracking things. But then, if you want to do double, triple the business and, pay off your house early and make it so your kids don't have college debt. Well, wait a second, you're Canadian. They're not going to have college debt.
oh, they will.
Oh, they will. Oh man.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we exported that feature.
Not as
Cool.
bad, but it's yeah, it's not cheap.
Okay, so if you want all of those things, you're going to have to appeal to people, and saying I do a really good job ain't going to cut it. I believe that you do. I'm endorsing you, saying that you do, but you should definitely promote this video as a result of that, because like you offer good stuff. Okay, and I can feel your passion. But in 10 seconds, you got to convince somebody who has 3 names of home inspectors to be a client of yours. And your website doesn't even come close to that yet. Wally's does. I would just freaking copy this website, make it look a little bit different, put a different color, put your logo and, maybe your phone number instead of Wally's. But otherwise, borrow this idea, but expand it, add your blog, have fun with that. But then getting in front of agents is not hard. And anyone who says, oh, but COVID. No. Here's what you do. You get in front of them. How many agents are there within 30 miles, 50 miles, your service area of your house and office?
Yeah, a lot. I'm going to say at least 100. I'm sure it's more than that.
Oh, it's more than that. But
Way more than that.
But now I have some homework for you. Here's your first thing to do. Find out exactly how many agents are within 50 miles of your house or whatever your service area is. And if it's only 100 and I'm wrong, which I don't think I am.
I'm sure it's more than that.
Oh yeah. It's probably like 400.
Probably 400,
yeah. But let's say I'm wrong. Let's say it's more like 100 or 200. That is not enough to sustain a home inspection business. So what do you have to do? Make a quick business decision here. What do you need to do if it's 200 agents?
You to appeal to the ones who would do the most business.
Nope. Because there's not enough business to sustain the kind of lifestyle that you want. And I know the kind of lifestyle you want because you don't have, Walmart blinds on those window that is well trimmed behind you. That is not a standard trim. That is a custom trim around casement around that window. And you have at least, 1.5, 2 inch blind, which means, it might have been a custom job. It might have been the ones that you can just, saw the ends off at your local Lowe's. 1,723 stores in North America. Come in for all your home improvement needs. I love Lowe's, because they're also a partner of ours. I say partner, they're a client. You have good taste, and you live with a woman who also has good taste and style stuff, and she's the one that picked the color on that wall.
No doubt.
All right. So I mean, she would like to go to dinner once a week in a BMW and ballet. Like that would be ideal. Now that may not be available in Nova Scotia. You might have to drive to Ontario or something. But I'm joking, of course. But but here's what you need to do. If there's really only 100 or 200 agents, that means that there's only transaction volume for 100 or 200 agents. So the first thing you need to do is update and upgrade your service area. Does it suck to drive far? Yes. Do you have to do it forever? No. Because if you get enough business in all of these areas and you expand your service area to a market that's big enough to provide you the business you want, then you'll drive for a little while, but eventually you'll do well enough that you can hire some people. And when you hire them, at the edge of your markets, and you can preference, Dave or Doug or Dale to go out to, that house 100 miles away. Make sense?
I guess my concern there is that I tend to have very high standards, and I'm sure there's a lot of quality inspectors out there, but I'm someone who had a very difficult time hiring someone until I was absolutely sure that they were obsessive about doing quality inspections as I was.
Well, I can show you at this point, I can show you 100-person inspection companies that meet every standard that they should. And are they absolutely 100% of them as good and as passionate as you? Maybe not. But which is better for a consumer? Let me ask it this way, and then we'll leave this for later, because when we come to that bridge, we can cross it together. I'll be here. Message me. I've done it for hundreds of inspection companies that had the exact same thought process behind it. That's the other good thing about home inspectors. They're passionate about this industry. They don't get into it because for the money. They really don't. But okay, so here's the question I would ask you. Take your 20 competitors that you're familiar with, okay? Mm-hmm. And take you with with an additional employee, Doug, we'll call him. And Doug not only was like, because you're so picky, he was like the 10th person you interviewed before you pick somebody. Not only was he the 10th person, but then he went through your training and he dealt with all of your shit for like 2 or 3 months, maybe 4, which is like double what it should take at like an established company. But you're building up that multi-inspector, brand and business. So, you're going to learn a little bit along the way, and you're going to do 3, 4, maybe even a 6-month training process, and then still have at least once a month or once every 2 weeks, a day that you guys do all of your appointments together to keep on brand, to make sure that everybody's, being diligent and sticking to the plan. Here's the way we go through a house. Here's the room we start in. Here's the floor we start in. Here's what we say to the customers, right? When we meet them. Here's what we prepare before the doors open, and before it's unlocked by the agent. All of those things. Oh, and here's where we park. We never park on the driveway because your truck might leak oil, dude. So let's not do that. Park right on the street. And so you're going to go through all that with him, and you're going to do it on a level that, okay, it's going to be above that, what that 100-person company does. Does the end result for the client mean more? No. Because, today it means a lot less. That 100-person company has $100,000 in warranty protection, including structural protection, 5 years of roof leak protection, sewer guard, mold safe, and a 90-day warranty that covers a lot of potential occurrences in the mechanical and structural failures. So, if it was your cousin getting an inspection or mine, would I rather they get an inspection with you or the other guy? The other guy. Would they get a more personal approach with you? Sure. But is that other guy going to miss a major defect? Unlikely. Neither of you are. Neither of you are likely to do that. But anyway, so would you, knowing that you would hire somebody and that you would be over diligent about it, like you'd be super careful, you'd train the hell out of them, knowing you, would you rather have a home buyer within 100 miles of your house use one of your competitors, or use the guy that works for you under your employ and under your supervision? Which one would be better for that client?
Be obvious what the answer to that one is. You certainly want someone who is under my control or under my umbrella.
Then don't be a hypocrite and say, oh no, I don't want to hire somebody. They might not meet my standards. Okay, well then lower your standards. People do it in their relationships every day. And you can do it in this relationship, and you can do it while delivering for the client a great product, not a good product, a great product. Is it like you were there? Maybe eventually, you know, get really good at that training thing. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And anybody who's watching this who has that challenge, you know, message me on Facebook. Just look up P. Nathan Thornberry. I promise I'll solve it for you in under 10 minutes. Next, so let's get to one thing. So you need to examine this area that you work, expand it potentially to where you could do less than 25% of all the inspections and do $1 million in business. If you don't have that level of territory, expand geographically. And I don't care if you have to get on a snowmobile to do it. I don't care if there are dogs in a sled involved, you do it. But don't do that though. I mean, go towards the population. And the population from you is south. So, you know, and it's warmer there. So that's good. And then the other thing is that you need to start hitting up real estate agents. And how do you do it? You know, you reach out to them, ask them for a meeting. You'd like to tell them about some of the new stuff that you're coming out with, and give them some details, and you're really excited about it and would love to get their feedback, you know, as an expert in the real estate field locally, you know, that sort of thing. You give a good invite to that. You invite them out to coffee, you know, ignore the COVID, ignore anything in the way. If someone, you know, 3 years from now is watching this video, and in hindsight, you know, COVID's been deemed the, you know, the biggest scam in the history of the world. And we're over it. And we're like, you know, and they have a totally different view than we do today. We don't know what's going to happen. It could be in 3 years, somebody watching this, don't worry about the COVID thing because they'll focus on that. Worry about anything that's in the way of you, you know, meeting with your clients, seeing your clients, distributing your material to clients. If there's 400 agents, as I think there are, in a reasonable driving distance from your house, how much does it cost with that Canadian version of the post office, which I've utilized before, by the way? Very inconvenient, Canada. You could do better. How much would it cost using that very overpriced service to get your message to every single one of them using the addresses that are in the licensing system for agents?
Be about $1 each, $1 Canadian. So
what's that?
It'd be about $1 Canadian.
Oh man.
To send a letter.
Right. So you got to print something, mail it, a letter, a little stack of brochures. I want you to spend more. I want you to spend $2 each. Okay. A letter, a little stack of brochures. Letter focuses on the points, why you're different, what you deliver to them, and what it means to your clients. And you could mail all of them. You can mail all of them right now on my level for $800. You could do it twice a year for $1,600. If I told you that you could absolutely have 100% of your target audience know who you are, have something from you for $1,600, would you do it?
I would, but again, like I said, I mean, I certainly in the past, talk has been cheap, and a lot of people have made a lot of grandiose claims. And as you mentioned earlier about how, you know, certain executives pay for advertising, and they certainly spend a lot more money and they don't get the return on investment.
Yeah, but that's not me. I get a pretty good ROI over and over, and you are about, you know, maybe the 5,000th home inspector I've told this to. I'm recording it so the rest of you can just watch it, and I don't have to, you know, have a conversation with all of you as much as I like you. But there's only so much of me to go around. And out of all the people that listened to me, did it on metrics, did the right message, you know, offered the right things, you know, the success rate was incredibly high. And the average volume of inspections of people that listen to me is 2 to 3 times the rest of inspection. The average liability of people that listen to me is 90% less than people that don't. And the average price point for people that listen to me is about 20% higher than all the people that don't. So it's not like some small version of the industry there either. Between all of the companies that we serve, we have about 11,000 inspectors in our system. So, you know, that's a pretty good chunk. You know, we're talking about 20% of inspections in the US and Canada this year for residences will include at least one of our products. that did not happen by accident. It's not because it's a bad idea. It's not because it's difficult or complicated or expensive. It's cheap. And it's certainly not because it doesn't deliver for the client. So, sign up, go to inspectionsuccess.net, sign up for a trial, free trial. You don't pay anything out of pocket. Log into Recall Check, and I'll pull up. No, I won't do this right now because we're running out of time, and I gotta go, and you gotta go, and you gotta go.
I do, yeah. Long overdue.
You gotta
some lunch
build a
here.
website. We should eat something today.
Yeah.
But go get the free trial. That doesn't hurt you at all. And then log into our systems and go to your resources tab and look through the, I don't know, 900 to 1,000 custom marketing pieces that will have your logo and stuff. It's already there. We already have them built, and take all those messages and go, wow, I don't have to think about all this. I don't have to, reinvent the wheel. I just need to take my spin. I need to add it to these things and then do it on metrics. I need to make sure that 15 agents hear from me every day via phone, that 15 agents hear from me every day via email, that at least 20 times I'm interacting on social media locally with agents in threads, in their little groups, and that I'm sending out at least 100 pieces of mail every freaking month until the world opens up. And then where are you going? You're going to stop by those real estate offices, shake hands, kiss babies. It's the same song and dance we've been doing for 200 years as humans. So it's been a pleasure. Any parting words or last questions? And otherwise, this was fun. We should do it again after you're doing a whole shitload of inspections and you're like, Nathan, you were totally right.
I certainly appreciate you taking the time here to speak with me, and I'm certainly big on numbers, and I certainly would be willing to implement some of those things and check to see if the metrics improved in that way. It's certainly my goal. Like I said, I'm relatively new, but it is my goal to become one of the top inspectors. I mean, I told someone recently, my goal is to become one of the top 3 inspectors in my city in the coming years. And I think that's an ambitious goal, but it's certainly something doable.
All right. Well, we're going to put your website up here one more time. This is Michael. He's with Inside Edge Home Inspections. There he is right there, Michael Burfitt. And he's in Nova Scotia, which means he's hilarious if you're not from Nova Scotia. And also, he's an inspector that cares a lot. If you're looking for a home inspector there, give him a call. His number is on his website. You'll have to type it into your phone, though, because it's a picture right now. Just joking with you, my man.
It'll be fixed.
We'll check back.
A lot of work I want to do on that site. So.
We'll check back with you later. You'd be the exception, not the rule, if this stuff didn't work for you. And if that's the case, well, then we'll just have to work with you harder, right? Have to change our game. I'm willing to stick with it. Let's go make you a huge success. You're already a good inspector and a great Canadian. So thanks for all you do, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Take care.